Hello everyone. This is my first YouTube video and I'm going to kind of make it a little bit of a get to know me video. I know the camera and the mic aren't the greatest, but it'll get better. Before I get too much into the video, I would just like to say please bear with me through this. I'm still new, so I'm working on it, and if you subscribe after it's done, I can tell you that much more good things are coming. So a little bit about me. I'm a mom to 3 beautiful little girls. They can be demons, but most kids can. I love baking, culinary arts in general, pretty much. Anything like that is one of my main happy points. But I've been kind of doing like a little bit of a bake from home kind of business. I mainly do like cakes and things like that, but I do as well do other stuff. I also love to sing, musical theater, choir, things like that. I grew up on those. My mom was big into choirs growing up, and then as soon as I was old enough to get into like school choir, I joined that. That might be a part on my channel. Obviously, I know those would be like copyrighted and wouldn't be monetized, but I like to do it, so it'll probably end up on the page at some point or another. Like I said, I've also done culinary arts. It's a big thing in my life. I knew from a young age I wanted to be a baker, so I took every culinary class I could through high school, which ended up being like 7 of my classes throughout the last 3 years of high school. I also did some in college as well. I'm definitely a 90s kid. That's, I know I'm not a kid anymore, obviously, but it's complete nostalgia whenever I see things from the 90s. And I'm kind of glad that a lot of it's coming back. One thing I can't wait for is trip pants, like the old genuine, baggy with the fake safety pins down the sides, things like that. Because those were awesome, and I wanted a pair so bad. And the final year that I begged my mom for long enough, and she finally told me, okay, fine, I'll go and I'll get you a pair. All they had was skinny jeans, and I don't do skinny jeans. They make my legs look big and my feet look big, and I was just like, nope. So haven't been into it yet, but with the butterfly hair clips and the old classic cartoons like Rugrats and Hey Arnold, Cat Dog, Cartoon Network stuff. Quick thing I just wanted to say, while I was editing this video, I noticed that I listed a bunch of Nickelodeon stuff, and then I said in Cartoon Network, and yes, I know that those shows were from Nickelodeon, not Cartoon Network. I was just meaning Cartoon Network in general, on top of some of the other ones from Nickelodeon, just so that way you guys don't get confused and think, did she really think Rugrats and Hey Arnold are from Cartoon Network? Because no, they're not. I know that. I just wanted to make sure I put this in here so that way you guys knew that I wasn't just being dumb. Alright, back to the video. All of that, it's some of my favorite stuff ever. I'm also a really big nerdy girl. I play some video games. I don't do like the typical like Minecraft and Fortnite. Never really gotten into those. But like I've played Until Dawn and the Dark Pictures games, Man of Medan. I play a little bit of The Sims. I don't know if that'll really be much on my channel. I'm thinking I might do some gaming here and there, but at the moment I'm not really sure where my channel is going to go, so there might be a variety of things for a little while, and if you guys have any suggestions on things you'd like to see out of what what I say I do, or stories you hear, then by all means leave them in the comments. I will gladly review those and should be able to make videos based on certain things that you request as time goes. I love Doctor Who. Doctor Who is a big part of like who I am. I've got a TARDIS purse. I want a Doctor 2 tattoo that I'm hopefully going to eventually get this year. Harry Potter's Harry Potter, that's a big one that I like a lot of. I know a lot of people nowadays are saying, oh, I love Harry Potter and everything, but I've been in it since the first books were coming out in America, and I remember reading the first book, and I got halfway through the second book when the first movie came out, and I was like, oh, yes, and then I gradually read some more of the books as I got older, but I started getting more into the movies just because I was a kid. I loved reading, but the movies were easier, so I would watch the movie and then read the book, and then go, well, that's different. The last books is where it got hard for me to really get into reading them because I was old enough to be making my own money, so I didn't get like gifted books as often anymore, and I wasn't making enough to get my own books, so I was saving up for college and things like that. And then when it comes to like Marvel, I love the movies. I love the MC universe. Stan Lee's passing made me cry, like super cry. I haven't seen Endgame just yet. I saw Infinity War, but I haven't seen Endgame yet. I'm putting it off. Luckily, I haven't been spoiled too much, so that's a plus. Never really got into the comics, but like I said, growing up I was more of a book kid, so my mom didn't really give me any comic books and wasn't an option for me. But as I've gotten older, I've gotten more into comics, and I've kind of seen how more of it's played out and things like that. I have 3 cats. One of them has one eye. His name is Taffy. He loves running into things. So if you occasionally see a cat bouncing back and forth around here or hear meowing here and there, it's them. Just ignore it. They're crazy. Another thing I'd like to say, that it may become part of my channel, like on a regular basis, but I'm leaving that kind of up to you guys. I do have a mental illness. I am manic depressive bipolar with OCD tendencies and an anxiety disorder. I know there's still a lot of stigma around mental health, even in 2019, where there really shouldn't be anymore. It should be null and void and shouldn't matter. It should just be I have it. Oh, okay, how do I help? Instead of, people making fun of it. Personally, I'm not struggling as bad now as I did in the past. I also went through a lot of different traumas, both physical and mental, growing up, as well as I even had some minor ED issues. And now I feel like I've gotten a better hold on my disorders, so it's easier for me to talk about it, easier for me to work through it on just a daily basis. I kind of know when things are my brain and when things are actually a viable reason to be upset, or I can stop myself when I get into an OCD moment. There have been times in my life, even as an adult, where I've really struggled with it, or things have happened that trigger certain issues. And I know that one of the big ones was when my daughter got hurt. 2 different times, one with one daughter, one with another. And if you'd like, I can go into those a little more later and how they affected me and how my daughters have gotten through them, and like coping mechanisms they've had as well as I had to have, because one of the hardest things as a parent is seeing your child go through something that you can't change. And so it was really a learning curve for me as well as her. And like my youngest, when she got hurt, luckily she doesn't remember any of it. She doesn't have any deficits or anything from it. But my older daughter was of an age to remember. And she still has some issues of it, but she's gotten much better. Like I also said, I suffered from ED situations. It was a big thing in my life from like early teens through to even now. Occasionally I will have thoughts, but I never act on them, obviously. I say obviously like you would know. God. What am I doing? Okay, so, it's always been a back and forth battle. I think a lot of it stemmed from my OCD. So, like, growing up, it was kind of this, it's something I can control, so I'm going to control it. I know that that's how a lot of people start, and so it's a typical thing to hear, but that's where mine came about. I'm not going to go into a bunch in that, obviously, right now, because this is just kind of get to know who I am. I know a lot of other people who suffer from ED issues tend to look for videos of people discussing how they got through it or how they deal with it on a day-to-day basis, because it kind of helps them figure out how they can handle it. I will never put anything triggering in my videos without a trigger warning. I would never put anything that could cause somebody to want to hurt themselves or make any of their disorders, whether it be ED or mental illness. I would never do anything that would make them worse. I think trigger videos are a big thing that a lot of people look for, and I personally have in the past, and I don't feel right doing that to somebody. I can't stand how it makes me feel, so I couldn't imagine doing that to somebody else. So that's kind of who I am. Obviously, I didn't go into a bunch of details. I didn't go into, too deep into my stories because, I can always make a later video. This is just kind of me putting out there who I am, where I come from, things like that. If you guys have any suggestions on things you'd like to see, like I said before, feel free to drop it in the comments. I will look at the comments as soon as I can after I upload, and I'll make sure to respond as I can and try and get videos out that are in tune with things you'd want to see. My channel might be a little bit of a mix-up for a little while. It might have a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm hoping this will grow into something, long-term that people enjoy and look for on a regular basis, because it would be nice to be able to be that person for somebody that other people have been able to be for me. If you like this video, feel free to hit the like button. I would appreciate a subscribe, but if you don't feel ready to, I understand. More videos will be coming out. If I don't get any suggestions, I'll just go ahead and I'll make a few videos here and there, kind of feel it out, and if you like them, feel free to share them or go ahead and let me know what you think. So that's about that. Alright, I love you guys. I hope that this went over well and you guys stayed to the end of the video. I know it's kind of long for a first YouTube video, but I'm thoroughly enjoying the idea of getting this channel up and going. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.